Thousands of cartons of fresh peaches and nectarines are being recalled in several states, including Walmarts in Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
You walk into a grocery store thinking you're making a healthy choice. Maybe you grab a banana on the way to work, toss a few strawberries into your morning yogurt, or snack on some grapes while binge-watching your favorite show. It's Fruit Tits. Safe, right? That's what the packaging says. That's what the advertising wants you to believe. But here's the brutal truth. Behind the polished displays and the bright farm fresh stickers, a disturbing pattern has been quietly growing. The apples you trust might have been chemically aged. The berries you rinse off might have been sweating in warm storage for days, and the organic label slapped on your peaches. It might be nothing more than a sticker. Grocery chains across America are cutting corners in ways you were never supposed to find out about until now. And some of the biggest offenders, they're the ones we trust the most. Walmart sells more food than any other grocery chain in the country. And with their famous promise of everyday low prices, they've become the go-to destination for millions of shoppers hunting for deals. But behind those bargain bins of plump nectarines and colorful apple towers lies a playbook that's more about deception than freshness. According to multiple former employees, what you see isn't always what you get. One produce worker from Texas revealed a dirty little trick they used daily: repackaging old, bruised peaches and nectarines into fresh-looking containers. The trick? You tuck the mushy, overripe fruit at the bottom and stack a few perfect ones on top like a glossy decoy. We called it fruit camouflage, they said. Shoppers had no clue anything was wrong until they opened the container at home only to find half the fruit already rotting. But this wasn't just one rogue store. It's a systemic issue. Walmart's obsession with keeping prices low pushes suppliers to deliver produce that's cheap, fast, and, more often than not ready. To speed things up, many fruits are picked before they're even ripe, then blasted with ethylene gas to ripen them artificially during shipment. That shiny red apple in your cart, it might have been picked weeks ago and stored in refrigerated containers until it was deemed good enough to hit the shelf. One insider shared that entire boxes of plums would arrive with visible mold. At the bottom layer, what did managers do? Simple: wipe off the top layer, toss it on display, and sell it quick before anyone noticed. And if you think this only happens in the back room, think again. Walmart's own customers have caught bizarre storage violations on video grapes stacked next to leaking detergent bottles, fruit stored near garbage bins, and unrefrigerated pallets sitting overnight in sweltering stockrooms. Forget farm to table, this is more like truck to trash. Then there's the labeling scandal. In 2022, an investigation revealed that some Walmart stores were slapping "Grown in the USA" tags on fruit that actually came from Mexico and Peru. When shoppers dug deeper, they found the fine print on the back of the label told a very different story. Not only is that misleading, it's a potential health risk. Imported fruit can be treated with pesticides or chemicals that aren't allowed under U.S. guidelines, and if you're someone trying to support local farms or eat clean, Walmart just turned that into a guessing game. Even customers who never check labels have reported strange fruit experiences: bananas leaking from both ends, apples with odd sticky coatings, and strawberries that look fine until you tilt the container and find white fuzz hiding underneath. It's not just an aesthetic issue, it's a safety hazard. And the problem isn't going away. In fact, it's baked into how Walmart does business. The faster they can sell you that fruit, the less they have to worry about what it actually looks like inside. But if you thought Walmart was bad, just wait until you see what's happening at Aldi. Aldi promises savings, speed, and simplicity. But if you've ever bought fruit there, you might have gotten something else entirely: mold, flies, and a headache. Known for its bare-bones layout and efficiency-first model, Aldi's produce section is a gamble dressed up as a bargain. And while those $1.99 strawberries might look like a deal, plenty of customers are learning the hard way that what's on the shelf is not always safe to eat. Reddit threads and Facebook groups have exploded with complaints raspberries covered in mold just hours after purchase. Peaches so hard you could use them as paperweights, and oranges that look fine until you bite in and find brown, grainy. One viral post showed a sealed container of raspberries from Aldi. It had turned completely white with mold less than 24 hours after purchase. The timestamp on the receipt and the photo. A perfect match. That's not user error. That's Trat Staps. A supply chain failing on every level. So what's happening here? According to former employees, Aldi's minimal staffing is part of the problem. There's one person at the register and one stocking the entire store, one worker said. If something goes bad, it stays there until someone complains. In other words, unless you spot it and say something. That rotten bag of grapes could sit on the shelf for days. The cold storage problem doesn't help either. Aldi prides itself on efficiency, but that often means skipping proper inspections altogether. Bulk fruit is dumped directly from shipment boxes into display bins. No sorting, no inspection. If there's one bad orange in the pile, it's going to infect the rest by the end of the week. One customer described buying grapes that looked fine on top only to get home and find a swarm of fruit flies buzzing beneath the bag. When they returned it, the clerk shrugged and said, "It happens." And good luck reading the expiration dates. Aldi uses strange internal codes instead of clear Best Buy labels, leaving customers to guess if the strawberries they're buying are from last Tuesday or last month. One shopper claimed they were sold apples that had expired 2 weeks prior, only to be told the store goes by visual inspection instead of actual dates. Translation: if it doesn't look gross yet, it's still for sale. Even their organics section can't be trusted. One week, you'll find organic blueberries at a decent price. The next, you'll find nothing but conventionally grown grapes with no listed country of origin. That's a problem for anyone trying to avoid pesticides or buy locally. Aldi's whole model is built on moving product fast and cutting extras including quality control. The result? A store where fruit can look deceptively perfect but turn foul in a matter of hours. And the worst part, you probably won't know until you bite into it. But if you thought Aldi's mold problem was bad, wait until you see what Safeway is hiding behind their spotless floors and upscale lighting. Safeway markets itself as the polished, upscale option. Walk into any location and you're met with soft lighting, glossy floors, and perfectly stacked apple pyramids that practically whisper, "You're making a better choice." But behind that calming music and curated produce displays, a very different reality is rotting just beneath the surface. One former Safeway produce clerk pulled the curtain back with a chilling admission. "We weren't trained to keep the fruit fresh. We were trained to make it look fresh." That meant rotating old fruit to the top, spraying it with water to give it an artificial shine, and slapping on managers' special stickers to move produce that was one bad day away from turning to mush. But this isn't just about a few bruised peaches, it's about food safety. A health inspection report from California flagged multiple excess Safeway locations for storing pre-cut fruit above the safe temperature range. If you're unfamiliar with food safety codes, that means fruit was sitting in the infamous danger zone between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The perfect breeding ground for bacteria to multiply faster than your receipt prints. And it wasn't just a California issue. In Washington, another Safeway location failed a major audit after staff moved spoiled fruit from a broken fridge into a working one without tossing the compromised items. They literally gambled with public health to save on inventory loss. Then there's the organic illusion: green labels, big price tags, and promises of clean eating. But according to a 2021 review of Safeway's labeling practices, several stores were caught mislabeling conventional fruit as organic due to stocking errors. One insider said that when organic bins ran dry, staff would just top them off with whatever was available if it wasn't certified organic. So if you thought you were paying extra for pesticide-free bananas, you might have been sold the same batch used for the regular display. And shoppers are starting to catch on. Social media posts show everything from moldy strawberries just hours after purchase to blueberries leaking inside their packaging. 2 sealed containers of pineapple floating in fermented juice that one customer described as smelling like tropical garbage. And when they tried to return it, the manager offered a refund and a shrug. But the problems don't stop with image games or warm fruit bins. Safeway, just like the others, is betting that you won't ask questions, that the shine will distract you, that the music will lull you into trusting what's on the shelf. But if you think that's bad, wait until you see what Food Lion has been quietly doing in the South. Food Lion's whole image revolves around being accessible and affordable. Their slogan could just as easily be, "Not fancy, but it works." But when it comes to their fruit section, good enough is no longer cutting it. In fact, behind the scenes, some stores are operating with such outdated practices that it's a miracle anything edible ends up in your basket. One former produce manager from North Carolina revealed that deliveries only came once a week, sometimes less. That means your strawberries could be 5 days old before they even touch the shelf. And if there's a shipment delay, get ready for a clearance bin full of soft peaches and overripe apples dressed up in new packaging. Storage is where things get really dicey. In many Food Lion locations, cold storage is minimal. There just isn't enough space. So fruit pallets are often staged in warm, dark back rooms while staff wait to find space in a fridge. If it fits, it ships, one employee said. If it doesn't, it sits. And once that fruit starts sweating, mold growth and fruit flies are practically guaranteed. One shopper in Virginia posted a photo of gnats swarming a banana display, while employees restocked just feet away without batting an eye. But even worse than the smell or the flies is the safety risk. In South Carolina, a 2019 inspection found cut fruit being stored next to leaking meat packages in the same shared cooler. Cross-contamination isn't just a buzzword, it's a serious health threat that could lead to foodborne illness. And when asked how often the fruit bins were deep cleaned, one worker shrugged and said, maybe once a month, if that. And don't think switching to whole fruit will save you. Food Lion is infamous for bundling old apples and pears into value packs near the front entrance. They look like a bargain, but often include 2 or 3 fruits that are already soft, bruised, or leaking. One shopper described biting into a peach that was so sour it made my eye twitch. Even their flashy 10 for $10 fruit deals come with a catch: those markdowns are usually timed to unload overstock that's about to expire. The formula is simple: keep it colorful, keep it full, and hope you don't notice until you're home. But just when you think you've seen the worst, you step into Giant, where marketing plays a bigger role than freshness ever did. Giant Foods is one of those stores that sells predictability. It's the place where everything is where you left it last time. The aisles are wide, and the fruit section looks like a Pinterest board. But what looks perfect at first glance often hides a very different reality, according to a former produce clerk at a Maryland location. The fruit rotation system wasn't about keeping things fresh, it was about hiding the worst items. You put the new apples on top, they said, and shove the soft ones to the middle. By the time someone grabs it, they're holding a bruised mess. That sounds bad enough till you factor in the signage. In a 2022 consumer audit, multiple Giant locations were flagged for using misleading freshness stickers. One shopper pointed out a container of grapes labeled "packed today," only to find the original crate showed a shipment date from 3 days earlier. When they asked an employee about the contradiction, the answer was blunt: yeah, we just change the labels sometimes. Then there's the notorious clamshell packaging. Those neat little plastic boxes stacked with surgical precision. They look perfect. Too perfect. That's because Giant employees reportedly use a technique called top coating, where the freshest berries are arranged on the top layer, hiding bruised or moldy ones underneath. It's fruit clickbait. You see one thing, but what you get is a trap. And let's talk about temperature control or lack of it. A shopper in Pennsylvania. FILMED video footage of moisture buildup inside sealed berry containers. That condensation, it's a red flag. It signals the fruit is spoiling fast, and it creates the perfect breeding ground for mold and bacteria. Yet the store still stocked it because, according to employees, we don't have time to check every box. But if you thought Giant was playing games with packaging, wait until you hear what's happening at Family Dollar, where fresh produce takes on a whole new meaning. Now, here's the twist. Family Dollar, a store most people associate with cheap snacks and cleaning supplies, has been quietly rolling out fresh fruit in underserved neighborhoods. Sounds like a good thing, right? Not so fast. In many towns, Family Dollar is the only nearby option, what researchers call a food desert. But instead of bringing healthy choices, these stores are becoming dumping grounds for poorly handled produce with zero accountability. One viral video from a family Dollar in Georgia showed bananas so blackened they looked like they'd been grilled. Another image from Mississippi showed peaches with visible mold still being sold as fresh local produce. And when reporters reached out to the company, the response was corporate word soup, restocking procedures, and supply chain inconsistencies, which basically translates to, "We're not watching this stuff." Why? Because many Family Dollar locations simply aren't built for perishable inventory. They lack proper refrigeration, don't have produce-trained staff, and follow no regular rotation schedule. One former employee said, "Sometimes fruit sits for over a week. No one checks it, no one cares. If it doesn't smell, we keep it." Another admitted they were told to wipe down bruised apples with lemon juice to make them look fresher. That might work for Instagram, not for food safety. Even where the fruit is placed in store is a problem. Bins are often shoved near front entrances, under heating vents, or beside freezers blowing warm air. In one Alabama location, oranges and grapes were placed next to a heater. By afternoon, the grapes were splitting and the oranges were sweating like they were in a sauna. So what do you do when the stores you rely on, big names and discount chains alike, all hiding the same dirty truth? Next up, we'll break down why this keeps happening, because it's not just bad luck, it's by design. You'd think with all these scandals, recalls, and viral complaints, grocery stores would tighten things up, right? Wrong. Because the truth is, this system isn't broken, it's working exactly how it was designed to. Grocery stores have trained you to shop with your eyes. That's the trick. Keep the fruit colorful, the lights flattering, and the music soft. As long as everything looks fresh, most people won't check what's underneath. You're too busy. You're distracted. You trust the display. And stores are banking on that trust, literally. They know that fruit sells fast. It spoils fast, too. So they developed shortcuts, rotating, relabeling, hiding the bad beneath the good. And when it gets close to the edge, it's discounted, repackaged, or wiped down with lemon juice like a last-ditch makeover. Why? Because tossing fruit hurts the bottom line. But selling it, no matter how questionable, protects profit margins. It's not just about one store manager making bad calls. It's baked into the business model. Speed over scrutiny. Appearance over quality. Margin over health. And let's not forget the bigger players, marketing firms, logistics companies, even some major suppliers, all complicit in creating this illusion. They ship unripe produce across the country, ripen it with gas, and slap on labels that tell you it's local. You believe it because it's packaged like truth, but it's theater. And the longer you keep shopping based on sight alone, the longer the show goes on. But here's where things start to shift, because once you know what to look for, you stop being part of the game. Now that you know what's really going on behind those polished fruit displays, here's how to fight back. First rule, never trust the top layer. If you're buying berries, grapes, or anything in a clamshelf, flip it, tilt it, look underneath. If you see condensation, fuzz, or anything too shiny, walk away. That's not moisture from freshness, it's a mold party waiting to happen. Next, give fruit a gentle squeeze. Not a full crush, just a light press. If it feels hollow, mealy, or unusually soft, it's already on its way out. With bananas, look at the ends, not the middle. Split stems, wet tips, or leaks. Skip it. Apples and pears should be firm and heavy for their size, not light and waxy. And don't trust that organic sign without cross-checking the label on the actual produce. Mislabeled bins are everywhere, especially in high-turnover stores. If the sticker says one thing but the sign says another, assume the sticker is right or walk away. Also, beware of those two good tube deal steals. If peaches are suddenly 10 for $10, ask yourself why. Chances are they're trying to clear out fruit that's about to collapse in your fridge. And please don't be fooled by the value packs. They're often a graveyard of unwanted produce dressed up as a bargain. Finally, buy loose fruit when you can. It forces you to inspect what you're getting. And if something looks off, say something. The more complaints a store gets, the harder it becomes for them to ignore the issue. You don't have to be rude, just be firm. The customer, you have power. Use it. This isn't just about bad fruit. It's about a system that bets on you not paying attention. It's about stores that smile while selling you something they know might rot the second it hits your kitchen counter. And it's about the difference between what we're told and what we're actually sold. Because behind the perfect pyramid of apples and the cheerful farm fresh signs is a supply chain full of shortcuts, excuses, and cut corners. Walmart hides bruised nectarines under prettier ones. Aldi skips inspections and lets flies run wild. Safeway fakes freshness with shine and sprays. Food Lion sells value packs full of sour surprises. Giant relabel shipments to make them look new, and Family Dollar. They're stocking unrefrigerated bananas next to heating vents in food deserts. That's not just negligence, it's deception dressed up as convenience. But now you know. You've seen the game. You know how they stack yesterday's failures into today's displays. And that knowledge, that's power. Because every time you choose better, inspect deeper, ask questions, walk away from the trickery, you force the industry to adapt. You hit them where it hurts, at the register. So next time you reach for that perfectly placed container of strawberries, don't just grab it. Flip it, smell it, look under the surface. Because sometimes what you're really holding isn't fruit, it's a cover-up. And the more we uncover that truth together, the fresher the future becomes for everyone. If this made you look at your grocery store a little differently, hit the like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Because the truth, it's not always on the label, but it's always worth peeling back.